Okay. Hey, Jessica, what's up?
Hi, Dr. John.
How are you?
I've been better.
Uh-oh. What happened?
I'm
What's
not
going on?
great. So I don't know if you want a little bit of backstory before, but
Bring it
I
all.
have,
Bring it all.
okay. I'm going to try to keep calm. This is like so awful.
You don't have to be calm.
I don't
Okay,
know.
start at the end, and then let's go back to the beginning.
Okay. So
Let's get the
I'm
scary thing out
39.
first.
The scary thing out first. So I am 39. I have been dating my boyfriend for 8 months, and it's been one of the healthiest relationships I've ever been in. Like, he is absolutely wonderful. He's kind, and it's been really hard for me to finally accept being with a kind man. You know, my nervous system has always been attracted to men that don't want me, and, you know, all that type of thing. And I'm finally like with a very kind man, and it's been a lot for me to finally accept this and like get comfortable with it. And finally, like, we were in such a good place, the best place I've ever been. Like, everything was going great.
This is
And
quite the
then
build-up, Jessica.
it's horrible. I don't know what is worse than this, honestly. Like, and then he has a cold sore on his lip, and I'm like, is that a cold sore?
No.
And he says, no, it's a fever blister. I don't have that. It's very defensive and dismissive. And I was like, okay, well, I just, no big deal. People have cold sores. And by the time I saw him, it had mostly cleared up, you know, so it was his birthday weekend, you know, just normal things happened. And then 2 weeks later, I get sick, like very sick. All these other symptoms, and then the worst symptom imaginable, sores down there, like sores that I've never had in my life. Like,
Yeah.
I have never experienced anything like this. And so I go to the doctor. Sure enough,
The big H?
it's the big, horrible, horrific, disgusting big H. And I was like, you got to be kidding. And I'm like shaking and hysterical in the office. And she's like, yes, HSV1 can be given to you. Even though he only has it orally, he can give it to you genitally.
Yeah.
So now I have genital herpes for the rest of my life because of his stupid cold sore. And like, he doesn't have to deal with these consequences. I do. Like, I have to deal with whatever outbreaks I'm going to get. Who knows what it's going to be like? I just contracted it. And I there's two parts to this. Like, how can I ever look at myself the same? Like, I wanted to burn everything in my closet. I wanted to, like, because I never want to feel beautiful again. I wanted to just throw the biggest fit of my whole life. Like, because I had a huge meltdown of just myself, how to deal with this for myself. But then also, like, I cannot even look at him. I can't look at him. Like, I can't stand the thought of him. Like, and he wants to bring me flowers. I want to throw those flowers in the trash in front of his face. I want to throw him down the stairs. I want to punish him forever for this, because how dare he do this to me, destroy me forever. But also, like, I don't want him to leave, because then I'll be alone, just this disgusting diseased monster, and I can't tell men about this, and I can't be with other men now because I'm diseased. And he is, you know, he's desperate for forgiveness. I'm like, why should I forgive you? Why? Like, the scales of justice are just so messed up here. And he's been crying for days, just wanting forgiveness, and I don't particularly want to. I don't know what to do. I don't know if forgiving him is the right thing to do. And if I do, like, what do I get for that? Like, what do I get for forgiving you? Like, I have this forever. Like, he doesn't have to deal with it. I don't know what to do. Like, the first part is me feeling so disgusting. Like, I can't tell my family. I can't talk about it, like, because I'm so freaking disgusting. And then to him, like, is this relationship just infernoed and in ashes because of this?
Does that feel good? Like, to get all out like that?
No. No.
So I would normally ask you, but I'll just say it, just for time's sake. You know that not one thing you said or mentioned, 0% of the things you just mentioned will heal you physically, right?
I know. That's what's so hard to accept is like, even if I break up with him, even if I abuse him, even if I abuse myself, it's not going to change anything.
No, it's deeper than that, Jessica. When did you find out about this? How recent is this?
2 weeks.
Okay. Have you been through a gnarly bad breakup in your past?
Yes.
And you remember those first few weeks after that and you can't breathe? And everything's just gray?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then you just told me about meeting this new guy that was a ray of sunshine. Right? And here's why I'm telling you that. You are still under the fog of true pain. All your feelings are I'm proud of the way you can articulate them. And feelings' job is not to tell you the truth. And so I'm going to tell you the truth. You're not a monster. You're not disgusting. The percentage of the population walking around with HSE1 is significant. There's some pretty incredible medications that can drastically reduce outbreaks. You can still be with people. How do I know? Because I've got friends with this.
Do you judge them?
No, why?
Do you look at them worse because of it?
No. They may never win a cut-down war with me, but no. Why would I judge them?
I don't know. I grew up Mormon. I grew up LDS. So this particular thing is weighing very heavy on me.
Is it because you were told there's some cosmic curse?
Yes.
Okay, stop. You hooked up with a guy with a cold sore. He's not a bad guy. If he's been tested before and he knows, then you should break up with him today. If he was just a knuckleheaded guy that thought he had a zip by the side of his mouth and had no clue, and now he's devastated too, he deserves compassion and grace too. And he doesn't have to get it today.
Okay.
But you torturing him and being mean is there's just no reason for it. If you need some space, tell him, I'm not in a position to talk to you right now because I'm hurting so bad. I know you didn't mean to hurt me forever, but you did. Right?
Yes.
But you give time to the feeling of disgust. Give time to the feeling of grief. Give time to, here's what's beneath all of this, like deeper than all of this, is this idea that can't freaking Jessica just catch a break with a guy? Please.
Yeah.
Right?
Seriously.
Is there a long line of them? Like you've been hurt before?
Yes.
And so I think there's, yes, herpes is a thing. And yes, you seeing sores on your genitals is disorienting, right?
Oh.
It's disorienting. Like it's almost like it separates you from yourself. That's somebody else's body part, right? I get that. And you're still incredibly lovable.
I just don't believe that.
You don't have to, but I don't lie on this show, so I'm telling you the truth. You don't have to. But There's
no way this doesn't take away from me in some way. There's no way this doesn't some way this is a blight on me.
That is a strange way to live the rest of your life. But that's a choice you can make. It's a choice you can make.
I can choose to act like it's no big deal. I can choose to act like it's nothing.
Yep. It's something.
Like,
it's something.
In what world?
What are you talking about? You have a guy that you just spent telling me that for the better part of a year, you've fallen head over heels for the wonderful guy. And he's calling you every day in tears saying, my God, I hurt the person that I love the most. Can I come see you? And you're thinking about torturing him and killing him and shaming him and dragging him behind your car down New Mexico. Like, why?
Because I'm enraged at the injustice. Like, why does he yet again?
Get over the
man
injustice
has to suffer
part,
no
dude.
Consequences. No consequences for him.
Okay, then break up with him right now, Jessica. Let him go then. Let him go. Like, what do you want? You want him to get like an even worse, like STI? What do you like? You got to let this injustice go if you're going to be in a stable relationship with somebody.
Like, I know that I would have to forgive him and let this go if it were to continue, but
Jessica,
I don't know how to do that.
Forgiveness is for you, my friend. Forgiveness says you hurt me, and I'm not carrying you. I'm not carrying it anymore. But for you, not forgiving, I can tell, gives you power. It makes you feel strong.
Not forgiving?
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely feels like a battle. You know what I mean? It felt like we were allies before.
You are allies.
All of a sudden, I'm on the other side of this battle, and like I need to protect myself and defend myself from him. That's what I feel like. And it's so hard doing that from somebody that was like your best friend like 2 days ago. You know what I mean?
How's the last 2 weeks felt?
It's been devastating for both of us. Like,
will you try something for me?
Yeah.
The way you've tried to handle this over the last 2 weeks has not made you feel better.
No.
Okay.
No.
Then here's what I want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to sit in your car for 30 seconds and yell, "It's not fair." And then I want you to go inside and double down on being close to him.
Mm-hmm.
And give 48 hours of connection a chance, because what you're doing is not working.
No.
It's making you angry. It's making you feel worse about yourself. It's making this thing is just spinning and spinning and ruminating and spinning and ruminating. And the doctor can tell you, hey, we've got medicine. Your friends, you're just walking around like you're this big, like you said, this blight of humanity. You're not. And if you choose to think that, if you choose to enter every room for the rest of your life with that way, I'm telling you, you're making a choice to live a less blessed, a less fortunate, a less joyful life.
But it just feels like a lie if I do that. It's just getting off too easy.
Unless you're going to let go of this whole punishment thing, dude, you're going to have to just let him go.
I mean, but even punishment for myself.
What for what?
I don't know.
For making out with a guy that he didn't know he was sick?
It just doesn't feel right to not.
Jessica, your feelings aren't telling you the truth.
Oh, okay.
They're not. And your feelings are so powerful and so strong that it's easy to get swept up in them, because they lie to you and tell you that they're going to protect you. They're not. They're making you feel worse about yourself. You're about to lose another relationship. You're not thinking clearly on the science and the medical aspect of this. You're creating a sociological, like a characterization of yourself. It's just not true. And by the way, it's okay to be so pissed and to grieve so deeply and to have yet another perfect thing not be perfect. It's okay. At some point, you're going to recognize that all of your imaginary perfect, none of it was ever real. And by the way, I'm hitting the scale too hard on the other side on purpose. Dude, this is the worst. I'm sorry.
It's horrible.
It is. Okay, but listen, you just said it perfect. You said it perfectly. This is horrible. You're not. This is horrible. He's not. This is horrible. Y'all's relationship together, I think, can become even stronger if you choose for it to be. But yes, this situation, herpes, is horrible. It's not great. But I'd rather you spend some time crying and being sad than trying to wallpaper over and fight and hold back grief with rage. Because rage is going to make you do and say things that you don't mean and that are not you. And they're going to cost you friendships and relationships and love and compassion.
It just seems like way too easy, like to just move on like it's not a big deal. It just seems like, I mean, he's been crying. Like the only thing that whenever I'm not thinking about sledgehammering his face, like whenever I'm not thinking about that and I see him crying, and he's a good person. He's a sweet, kind man, and he's such an empath, and he just can't live with the guilt of it. He's so upset. Like he can't handle that he did this to me and that he just has the oral one and now I have the genital one, and he knows, like, you know, I already have problems with my self-worth, and he's just over there just bawling. And that's the only moment I have empathy for him, is like when I see him crying, I'm just like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be so mean. Like, but at the same time, I mean,
I'm just going to ask you again, what is mean getting you?
nothing.
Nothing. It's a complete waste of your time.
You're right.
Like what? It's just doing nothing.
You're right. It's doing nothing. What is me wanting to catastrophize everything? Like, what is...
You've been doing that your whole life.
I've been doing that my whole life.
Yes.
My whole life.
And
with
Jessica,
everything.
I'd be willing to bet money that in the house you grew up in, you had to think 14 steps ahead to stay alive.
Yes.
Fair?
Yes.
Or to stay less abused. Fair?
Fair.
Okay. That served you well. Your body did exactly what it was designed to do, and that's to keep you safe, because the people that were supposed to keep you safe were hurting you, right?
Yes.
Yes. And if you're wondering, how does he know that about me? Because I've sat with you over and over and over again, and I care about you, and I want you to have a well life, and I want you to not go to war with your body anymore. Your body did exactly what it was designed to do, but that thing that kept you alive and safe as a kid will destroy your adulthood joy.
It has been for years.
I know. And it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you make the people around you just so frustrated that they say the thing or do the thing or just don't return a call, or they fill in the blank, and then you go, see, the worst thing happened. And the way you talk,
like,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's almost like the fear and like living in the anxiety and the terror of it coming is just, it's safer and easier to deal with.
It's a drug.
The disappointment and
It's a drug.
It's easier to sit there in that than risk of being happy and it being destroyed again.
Okay, so here's what I need you to do. What do you do for a living?
I sell insurance.
Okay. Oh, then this is even better. You know how to look at an actuary table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how past data works.
Uh-huh.
And past risk analysis works. That's how you make all of your basis for rates, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you're pre-catastrophizing, or as Brene Brown calls it, you're dress rehearsing tragedy. As you do.
Yes.
24/7, 365.
Yes.
Has resulted in a wake of burned down relationships. True or false?
True.
True. Would you insure yourself relationally?
No.
No. And if you were going to, like, my claims adjuster will come out and say, you're going to have to drive differently. And so I'm trying to get you to see that dress rehearsing tragedy only robs joy of the present. It does not protect you from the future. How do I know that in your particular case? Because of how you spoke of this guy. You slowly let your guard down with this one.
Slowly, yes.
And then you didn't realize how low the guard was until you went to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And so life is a series of challenges in front of us. And the question most of us need to ask is not how do we build this big cinder block casing for ourselves to protect us from everything? Because even then, that will fall in on us at some point. The question is, can we find people to go through the hard stuff together? And you haven't told me one thing negative about this guy other than he unwittingly hurt you in a pretty big way. And he's begging for your grace.
Yes.
And so let me go ahead and spoil alert for you. If you go over to his house today and you hold him and y'all both weep together, and he says, I'm so sorry, and you say, I forgive you, I'm setting these bricks down, I'm not carrying this anymore. Whew. Y'all both go to the doctor, and it's embarrassing and humiliating. You got to go through all that stuff, and you get the medicine and the cream, all the stuff. And then you get all the information about how you're not ruined and your life's not over and there's going to be some uncomfortable periods and all that, but y'all going to do this together. You're going to say something and at some point and you're going to hurt him. He's going to do another thing over the next 2, 5, 7, 10 years. He's going to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, and he's going to hurt you too. That's life. That's relationship. That's love. The question is, we all decide we're going to rebuild together. And not run to the future, create a story, put it in a Ziploc bag or in a backpack and bring it to the present and expect the present to carry it. By the way, if I got herpes today, would I call my mom and dad and tell them? Nope. No. So you're right. You should never tell your parents. I mean, maybe there's a time and place depending on your kind of family. Maybe I would tell them one day if we were all laughing, but like, you don't need to tell everybody this.
I mean, I talked to a couple of my just very, very close friends about it because I just was dying. I needed to talk to someone about it, but none of them had, why would you break up with him over this? Like, he didn't do it on purpose. It's when like a huge percentage of the population has it.
Ta-da.
I don't know what it is with me about feeling like pathetic now because it's like the dynamic has shifted. Like,
There's
I'm
no
staying
dynamics.
with him because
It hasn't. No, it hasn't. It hasn't.
No.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Like, I'm not pathetic because I'm just trapped here because he gave it to me and I don't want to give it to anyone else.
Nope.
I can just choose to go back to the way it was.
Nope. You can choose to build something new and awesome. And in 5 years, when he doesn't take the trash out and y'all are married and you have a little kid running around, you can say, you take the trash out? No. Why are you always hassling me? You can yell out, remember that time you gave me herpes? And y'all can all laugh about it.
No, there's no laughing.
There will be. There will be.
Ever.
There will be. Not now, but there will be. Okay, maybe not, but maybe.
I mean, he's worried about that. He's worried about me just using it as a sledgehammer for the rest of life. And I'm like that girl from, like Kathy Bates when she breaks his legs, and I'm just like.
That's a choice. Listen, that's a choice you make on a minute by minute, hour by hour, daily basis. And you're right. You can choose to get back into a relationship with him and always have a trump card forever. He will leave you. 100% he'll walk out the door. Because that's not a relationship. Here's what I know, and I'm glad to hear your friends mimicking the same, telling you the same thing I'm telling you. When I get real emotional, when I get hurt, when something bad happens to me, I know this about me. My emotions are hot. They run real, real hot. And so I outsource the next right step to people that I trust. Because I'm not reliable all the time. And I think you should continue to surround yourself with people that love you and that know you and will give you wisdom. Like, man, he's a pretty wonderful guy. This is a really awful situation y'all found yourself in, but he's a pretty awesome guy. Whew. And let's go to the doctor and get some real information so we can stop running around spouting things off. And by the way, I don't know anything about HSC1. I don't know anything about it. Very, very little. Just that my students used to be experienced with it a lot. But I want you to ask yourself over the next few weeks, is what I'm doing right now helping me solve my problem? Is it helping me grieve? Or is rage and anger trying to wallpaper over everything else in my life? And just for a season, feel sad, grieve. Things were, and now there's something different. And also ask yourself, what's the next right move? Beating up on somebody that loves you is never the right move. Jessica, it's been an honor to talk to you. Call anytime. You're not disgusting. You're not broken. And I'm going to call you my friend. I wish you guys the best.